Ladies and gentlemen, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and welcome wherever you are across the globe. Let me ask you something. Yes, it's me, Big Joe Chef, OneStream Live brand ambassador with your usual Tuesday 30 minutes of the Big Joe Show. More about that in a second. Let me ask you something first of all, though. How many platforms are you or your organization juggling just to get one message out? You've got things like Zoom for meetings, Teams for internal check-ins, maybe Mattermost or Slack, other things like that. Then you've got some other tool for public events to get your public message out there as well. And somewhere along the line, your message loses shape. The branding's off, the tone's different. Half the team misses the memo if they get it. Sound familiar? Well, tonight we stop the scatter and start the stream, because the world doesn't need more communication. What it needs better communication. One clear connected channel that works inside your organization and out into the world, inwards and downwards into the organization, upwards and outwards, driving your message out. One channel, one conversation. And that's what we'll be looking at over the next 4 weeks of our brand new OneStream Live 4-part monthly series. Over the next half hour, we will look at tonight why scattered really communications cost you time and trust, why leading organizations are moving into a single live streaming workflow, and how the mighty OneStream Live brings every conversation, internal and external, under one roof. So keep it here. It's Tuesday. It's time for OneStream Live's thoughts, tips, and top takeaways. It's the Big Joe Show, and as we all know, there's no show like a Big Joe Show. Keep it right here. Yeah, greetings, welcome. Before we win the challenge, what I want to do tonight is just say a warm welcome to everybody from the Wexford County Chamber of Commerce here in Wexford in the southeast of Ireland. Some of the members watching us for the first time tonight, and been great engaging and learning from them in recent times. So Wexford, the place to come. That's where I live, in the sunny southeast of Ireland. If you come to Ireland, you got to come to Wexford. So good shout out to them tonight. On with tonight's show, let's be honest, we have all lived through the chaos of communication. Look, it's almost remembrance. We look back at the World War I trench story. A commander said, get a message to back to the support element at the back, saying, I'm going to advance as troops, send reinforcements. By the time it went through everybody, the message got back to the commander, says, I am going to advance, send 3 reinforcements. And that's apparently a true story, but that's a really, really good analogy of what happens when we're trying to get our message through, especially inwards and downwards, and aligning that, which nobody does really, really well, upwards and outwards, getting our message out there to our clients, to our current customers, to whoever we need to get that message to. Okay, you finish a Teams call, a Zoom call, any of these other places, loads of different ones are available. They have their place, but you finish them and we know what they're like. Someone sends then a WhatsApp summary out because it's quick and they think they're doing people a favor. Marketing would maybe draft an email with a slightly different message. Then a manager posts something on LinkedIn that nobody else knew about. It just doesn't join up. The result is confusion, duplication, really, and a brand drift. I was working with a client earlier this year, a regional education group. They run a brilliant awareness campaign, but guess what? Half of the internal staff never even saw the campaign video until after it finished. Why? Because it was live. It was sent out live on another platform. The internal message never met the external one. How many people suffer with that problem? Okay, so that's not a technology problem, ladies and gents, is it? That's a communication architecture problem, and exactly what we're looking at helping you fix. Here's the truth, okay? So most organizations winning right now are the ones that treat communication as infrastructure. And again, I mean, apologies for saying you need to align inwards and downwards inside your organization, and the same message in a slightly different way, upwards and outwards, and using the same platform, OneStream Live, because that's what people get used to. Okay, for myself and many others, that's where OneStream Live really steps in. That's why, excuse me, they are the world's leading professional streaming platform. You know, you got to think of OneStream Live. So we call this live streaming as a service. There's an expression I coined a few years ago now. When people understand SaaS, software as a service, this is a live streaming as a service. That's what you're providing internally and externally. One place to plan, one place to schedule broadcast, and to indeed repurpose everything that your organization needs to say. It's your communication backbone. That's the easiest way to put it. So let's walk through it. So you plan, first of all, you create your message once, your briefing notes, your visuals, slides, clips, lower thirds, all of the usual stuff that you've got in a professional streaming studio. Then you schedule out, you decide what you want and where you want it to appear, where you want it to go out. If it's internal, then you can, and we'll, over the next 3 weeks, but excuse me, over the next 4 weeks, by the way, should I say, we'll be digging deeper. These are 30-minute sound bites for people watching for the first time. There is no panacea for all. There's no emperor's new clothes. It's just fact. This is just to give you an idea of what's available, what you should be looking at, and then we start the conversation. It's as simple as that. Don't think, oh, as good as Big Show Shep is, Face for Radio and all that, then I'm going to give you everything that you need in 30 minutes over the next 4 weeks. It don't happen that way. This starts the conversation about what your organization, your business, your charity, your school, your whatever needs. So when you planned it, you then schedule out, you decide when and where you want the message to appear. Internal town hall updates, say at 10 o'clock, external, I know, policy stakeholder updates at 3. Same system, different audience permissions. The first one, the internal town hall at 10 a.m., excuse me, you do that as a private or unlisted inside the studio, and you put that on your own intranet. 3 p.m., it goes live publicly to up to 45 different locations. Oh, and your website as well. Why? Because when people are on your website, they're more likely to look around. We just mentioned our good friends at Wexford Chamber of Commerce. If you go live onto their site or any other organization, live on a website, you're then driving people to the website. People are more likely to look around, find out more about your business, your product, your service, click, buy, join, whatever the case may be. You see the point I'm making, okay? Again, same system, different audience permissions. So your broadcast then, so you planned, you scheduled, you broadcast with OneStream Live, you know, you're going simultaneously, again, to your private company portal and or to your public channels. You know, you can do both because when you're doing that external one to the outside world, you can, again, do that internally as well, so they get a fuller, deeper, it depends on the message is, but it's the same. People, process, progress. It's joined up. That's the only things we should ever be looking at. You know, so again, when you go in publicly, Facebook, YouTube, LinkedIn, embedded, as I said, on your own website, up to 45 different locations should you need them. And then once you have done that, excuse me, you can then repurpose the external live or the internal briefing. You know, it doesn't die. You download, you clip it, you can do a short clip, internal and external, and then link it back to the full briefing or the full live show or whatever the case may be. Every live stream really can become a month of usable material. Okay, so, you know, and you got to look at really the 3 things I would say: consistency, you know, one look, one tone, one brand. Control. You decide who sees what, internally, externally, remember, and clarity. Clarity is the big one for me because everybody hears the same message the same way. It's a bit like the foundational aspects of anything in an organization. When we talk about drive folder structures, we have shared work areas, but people don't understand how to use them properly. They're not built correctly necessarily. There's no engagement with the people so that they understand what is in the drive system. It's about as unsexy and boring as I am. But you know what? It's bloody necessary to be able to do. This is the same. It's the foundational aspects of what you do in an organization that allows you all at strategic, operational, and tactical level to be able to deliver what your role is. don't overthink it. Have the conversation with us and we can help get you started. Okay, so everybody hears the same message in the same way is the whole point. Okay, so let's make this real. If you have any questions, by the way, tonight or over the next 4 weeks, then let us know. Excuse me. Good evening to everybody who's watching. Gregor Galway, good evening to you. Again, we have a thing where within the OneStream live studio called integrated chat, and a number of the different locations we go out to, where the chat will come into to the studio, and again with the internal external that happens exactly the same. So let's have an idea about an organizational example. Picture this: Monday morning, the CEO of your organization delivers a 5-minute internal briefing via OneStream Live. Remember, inwards and downwards. It's streamed securely to all staff because you can set it at private or unlisted inside, so it doesn't go public. I'll show you how to do that next week as well. And then it's stored afterwards because it doesn't go anywhere, as I said, on a private on-demand library, so anyone can watch. So that single live stream sets the tone really for me for the week. Everyone hears the same message. Everybody gets it at the same time. It powers your week off on a Monday. You know, it's Motivational Monday. Why not get the man in charge or the woman in charge to get her and him to tell the message that you want, that's gonna, you know, people will value, and what the key aims of that week for the organization are. You know, don't just come in on a Monday morning and be like that. Let's fire people up. Let's give them a reason for being there, and not just, you know, to go through your 8 hours or 10 hours or 12 hours and take some pay home. Okay. Fast forward to Friday. So the CEO's done the message on the Monday morning at 8, half 8, 9 o'clock, whatever time, and set a stall out for the week internally. We then go through to fast forward to Friday, the same studio, the same workflow, but a different audience, because this time we're going upwards and outwards. This time it's a community update. It could be a product launch going public. It can be anything. The process doesn't change. Remember, people, process, progress. If we remember those things all the time, then we're never going to go far wrong. The process, excuse me, doesn't change. The professional intro, you know, again, you know, you can use. Over the next couple of weeks, I will show you how we can use some more of the things we have in the studio, like the little intro. But the intro video there was fairly long. It was 50 seconds. But it says, because we've got a lot of new people watching tonight, it says what OneStream Studio is. So it gives a little bit of an explanation. It also waits until it connects externally with all of the locations we've gone to, because they all take a different time. When you go live externally, it can take anything up to 45 seconds, from 0 to 45 seconds, depending on the platform, Facebook, YouTube, LinkedIn, etc., for the API, to get very technical now, isn't it, to connect them together. So that's why we do that, just to keep it. That's, some people will use a countdown timer for a minute. I just prefer to do it that way. Your choice, your organization. You can do whatever you want. The whole thing is, the process doesn't change. Professional intro, branded lower thirds. Look at how I've got the studio today. You can do that internally and externally. It's the same. It looks very, very professional. David Topping, White Walker 1, who runs our Ulster Rugby Roundup show up there in County Derry, Londonderry. Good evening to you, mate. I hope that you are well. So yeah, professional intro, the branded lower thirds, the replay, everything that you've got talks about you and your brand, internally, externally, Monday, Friday. It doesn't matter what the case may be. The only difference is who's watching it, as I said earlier. And this is where live streaming becomes more than a broadcast. If you didn't watch last month's series, go to OneStream Live on YouTube, and they've got a playlist there that was talking about how we take you from, it was week 1, I used a blank studio and I built the branding around it, and over the 4 weeks we showed you how you can effectively become a 24/7 broadcasting TV channel and make it look professional. So again, this isn't in isolation. This is part of an ongoing educational series. You've got the team at OneStream.live there to help you. You've got my own team at LiveStream Solutions, LiveStream Academy to help you as well. It is more than a broadcast. It is your organizational communication strategy. You have a strategy for everything else. Often we have a common strategy, but it's up and out. It's external. This time we're trying to, over the next 4 weeks, just get you to think in a different way. Like I say, we can't cover everything in 30 minutes. I don't intend to. I'm just giving you some thoughts about what you could do and how you could do it smarter as well. One framework, one rhythm, one source of the truth. Oh, that's excellent, isn't it? One source of the truth. Every update, event, every message flows through a single consistent channel that's branded exactly the same, like this. That's why we do this in such a way with OneStream Live, and they provide all of that for me. What else? Internal communications. Now we know that when we get internal communications right, it builds alignment better between different departments. They're not as stovepiped as much. We know that it builds trust as well. So that's the sort of thing that we should be doing. External communication, by the way, builds visibility, awareness, reputation. See, and this is another secret. When you're going upwards and outwards, you need to have somebody who is the face of the brand. It doesn't have to be some super duper. I hate the word influencer, by the way. Absolutely hate it, because most influencers don't have an engaged audience. What you need is somebody, because people actually don't care how big your brand is. People don't care about your brand. They care about the individual behind the brand. And that's why it's got to be somebody. So find somebody who enjoys doing this type of thing as well, and get them to hit your message out. Get them to connect people that you can't. And that could be somebody, by the way, it doesn't have to be somebody in the comms team. It doesn't have to be somebody high up in the social media team. It can be somebody in the organization who actually can become a readily accessible version of your brand that people go, oh yeah, that's Big Joe Shepard from OneStream Live. Yeah, get it. Again, face for radio. If I can do this at almost 62 and get away with it, and people quite like it, and we've got people watching from across the globe, then in your organization, you can too. Together, all of these things form a scalable ecosystem of comms, really, and it's all powered by OneStream Live. When you stop treating live streaming, by the way, as a marketing extra and start using it as your, what did I call it before, your communications backbone. Yeah, that's really important. When you stop using it as a marketing extra and start using it as your comms backbone, you transform the way that your people will connect internally and externally, how your teams perform internally and externally, and how your brand is perceived internally and externally. One channel, every conversation. That's it. I'm really doing well tonight. Well ahead of time. You know why? Because we don't have to overplay this. Here's a couple of takeaways for you tonight, okay? Every time you hit go live in the studio, internally or externally, you're shaping how people see and hear your organization. Why do organizations spend more time trying to get the message correct externally, upwards and outwards, and we forget how we communicate internally, inwards and downwards? Why? They should be a shadow. Excuse me. They should be a shadow of themselves. It's like having a mirror. It's just where you're streaming it to. The message that you're sending out might be slightly different, but it all falls within the same communication strategy. And we don't do that. Most organizations. Oh, and by the way, if you think I'm being a bit harsh and your organization is fan-dabby dozy, thingy-majiggy, superby, brilliant, send me a message to Big Joe Shepard. So send it to info@livestreamsolutions.org, and I will personally arrange to come and see you and see how good you're doing and why, and see whether we can help promote that to anybody else. For the rest of you who feel that maybe your message isn't aligned inwards and downwards and upwards and outwards, and you like the idea of one platform to be able to do it, contact us again, info@livestreamsolutions.org, or go to onestream.live. And in the bottom right hand corner, there's a little red circle with a white envelope in it. Click on that, and do you know what you get? You get a team of customer service, but they're tech developers as well. Humans, there's no bots. Excuse me. They answer immediately, and they give you everything that you need to know. And all you need to say is, saw Big Joe Shep show, want to get started, or saw the show tonight, what do we do next? And somebody will take your details and then pass you on to partnerships or pass you on to myself. Somebody will come get back to you and we can help get you started. It all starts with the conversation, internally, externally, us. If your messages, please remember, if your messages are scattered, your brand feels scattered. But when you bring everyone together, and I make no apology saying internally, inwards and downwards, upwards and outwards again, everything is together. One look, one sound, one channel, your organization speaks with confidence and unity. This month, we're going to prove it step by step. On next week's show, part 2, we go inside out. We'll take it even deeper, how live streaming can transform internal communications, how it can help strengthen your culture, and how it builds trust from the top down. I'll show you some of those internal things that we can do. Again, if tonight has sparked ideas for your business, your school, your organization, connect with me, drop a comment in. Let's start the journey into a unified strategy. I'm Big Joe Shep. Very proud streaming partner and brand ambassador with OneStream Live, the globe's leading professional streaming platform. And this is where every conversation begins. Please, one channel, one conversation, OneStream Live. We'll see you next Tuesday. Look after yourself.